Hello, tarot lovers, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, then you've come to the right place because this is where you are going to connect with your deck. This is where we work on our spiritual confidence so we can listen to our intuition and read our tarot cards with ease. And today I am going to take a deep dive into the Devil card, card number 15. This is card number 15 in the Waite Tarot deck, and it is an excellent card in terms of the imagery, the color, the astrology, the numerology, to really get a deeper understanding of what this card is all about. So I use Rider-Waite-Smith because it is, well, arguably the most popular and well-known deck in the world. It is a deck that a lot of tarot teachers use, so it's important that you know this deck intimately. And I am going to do a series on looking at how you would read this deck in different types of readings. But at the moment, I am so enjoying deep diving into the symbolism. So we're going to look at the numerology, the astrology, the colors, and the actual image itself and how it helps you to understand the card at a deeper level. Now, the beauty of doing this is once you get your head around the symbolism, particularly within the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you can read any deck that uses traditional symbolism, but it also gives you something that you can use to stabilize yourself. If you're doing a reading, both either for yourself or for someone else, and you think, oh gosh, I'm not getting anything from this, you can start to slow yourself down and look at each card and read the colors, read the symbols, and start to receive your messages that way. And once you calm yourself down, that's when your confidence will start to feel better, because you'll think, yes, I really do know this deck. I really do. And you can start to switch on your intuition, because what you're going to do is interpret the messages from your life and what perhaps you're receiving from your sitter, the person that you're reading for, and come to the messages that are important that come from the card and from the spread as a whole. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to actually spin the camera around and I'm going to show you the Devil card. Let's get to it. So let's have a look at card number 15, the Devil. For those of you who haven't watched me before, I'm using two decks, and these are available in my Amazon shop. And if you decide to purchase from my Amazon shop, I do receive a small commission for that purchase. The link is down in the description box, and I'll try and remember to put it in the comments for you as well. So if you do need a tarot deck, I strongly recommend starting with the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. The yellow one is a great one to start with because it has all the traditional colors and it'll enable you to follow along with my videos. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the most popular deck in the world, arguably. I think it's done an absolutely amazing job at summarizing the tarot decks that have come before and making sense of them. It does mostly. There are a few cards that have slightly different meanings, but overall, it does stick with the traditional meanings. And it gives you a really good grounding to then step out and read any other deck, because most other decks follow the symbolism and order of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I use this big deck because I think it's marvelous for teaching, and it is a deck that if you were looking for something to have just bigger cards to see the symbolism better, then it's a really good deck to consider. So let's have a look at the Devil. So the Devil card is Lord of the Gates of Matter, child of the forces of time. So of course, we're talking about the Devil. We're talking about our shadow, our unconscious, that place within ourselves that we perhaps think we might see but aren't sure if we do, and little bits of it become clearer, other parts never become clear, and we push on through life trying to manage that shadow side of ourselves. So the numerology of the Devil card is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. And 6 is balance and stability. So 6 is about the combination of new beginnings and disruption, which comes together to create an energy of balance and stability. So the 1 influences the 5. So balance and stability is about, in this particular card, is about what we do, how we create that balance and stability in our lives. The other card that's a card of 6, and you can see here the correspondences with the Lovers card. Look at this. You've got the 2 figures, but this time they're at the gates of hell. This time they're in heaven. And you can see the tree of life, the tree of life, the tree of knowledge with the apple, and the tree of life with the flames. And of course here you've got the devil with his flaming truncheon, and also the man with his flame, the tail of flames, the woman with her tail of grapes, which represent abundance. I'm not quite sure why she doesn't have an apple there, but maybe the apple looks strange. So she, Pamela Coleman-Smith, drew grapes. But grapes have a similar meaning. They're about abundance. They're about nature, fertility, prosperity. So this idea of knowledge, the tree of life, and the tree of knowledge being reflected in this card. But if you look at this card, this idea of balance and stability is about, do I want to stay innocent, or do I want to have experience and knowledge and know and be more knowing and more in a space where I've got to cope with the bad things as well as the good things in life. With this card, you've got a similar idea of balance, but here you're caught. You're caught in the bad stuff, and you could take your chain off at any time and walk away from it, but you're stuck. So you can see you're stuck here, but you could pull this chain off. It's just looped around your throat. Just take it off and walk away. And sometimes in life, it's very hard. So that's about numerology, balance, the balance and the stability. The card astrology, again, the dates are December 21 to January 20. So if we look on this sheet here, which shows the Golden Dawn correspondences, you can see we just talked about Temperance, and we're moving across here to the Devil. Capricorn. How does Capricorn relate to the Devil? And this is where you've got the lovely, his lovely, what do you call those? Antlers coming up or horns coming off the top of his head that represent the goat. He's sitting there as, he's very much, he's got bat wings, but you can see that there is something there reminiscent of a goat. He's got the goat, the little goatee beard, and he's got the horns, the ears. So there's that reminiscence of that in amongst being a devil. So why Capricorn? Well, Capricorns traditionally represents the goat. So what does the goat do? The goat picks its way up to the mountaintop. So we're talking about somebody moving through life, but looking forward with vision to avoid making mistakes, because if they don't, they're going to come toppling down off the mountaintop. So Capricorn understands the trials and temptations of life in the physical world, which present in every experience that you have as you go through life. So the devil represented by Capricorn gives us that glimpse into everyone's darker side, the things that they have to cope with and move through, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, and manage themselves to get through. The Hebrew letter for the devil is ayin or I. Now, why is it I or ayin? And again, I do hope I'm pronouncing these correctly. It's because this is about vision. This card is about vision. It's impossible to look beyond the obvious and know our future. But at the same time, we want to look into the future. We want to look at our lives, not just in the future, but what's all around us, so that we can start to have spiritual lessons. So this is about turning on your third eye, recognizing what's going on around you, so that you can learn from the messages and the experiences of life, so that when you're caught up like this and in your shadow, you can pull the shackles off. The pathway, of course, on the tree of life is the 15th pathway, from beauty to splendor. So again, we are slowly progressing into deeper and deeper manifestations of ourselves. And of course, our splendor comes when we recognize the deeper aspects of ourselves. So classical element is earth, which of course is Capricorn. So stability and grounding. You need to put 2 feet on the ground. You need to be realistic about where you're at so you can lift those shackles off, because if you don't, you're going to be forever caught in the shackles of the devil. Let's have a look at some of the deeper symbolism. So the flames, I talked about the flames before, and the flames on the Lover's card. So the flames are passion and vitality. They symbolize a transformation within ourselves. The wings, the grey wings, represent confusion. So he's not going to flap his wings and take off. He's caught in that, as much as the devil feels like he's in control, he's actually caught in the confusion himself. The black is symbolic of our unexplained self. It's actually representing confusion in this card. It's representing, the spaces we can't see. If you go back to the idea of vision, the things that are unknowable in our shadow. The downward facing pentagram that is on the devil's head can be symbolic of evil because he's the devil. But in this card is a warning of negative energy that can hold you back, and a warning to be reflective and grounded, as in the element of earth. The devil's horns are associated with unfaithfulness in this card. The horns can also represent everything inside us that's wild and unrefined. If you think about goats, what do? They smack horns. And this idea of needing to get in touch with ourselves and find out what it is about ourselves that is helpful and what it is about ourselves that's unhelpful. So rather than smacking horns and just pushing on, to slow yourself down and say, hey, how can I do this in a better way? So the devil's he's got a hand symbol here, and the hand is the opposite of the Hierophant's blessing. So let's find the Hierophant in here. Here he is. So you can see the Hierophant has a staff in his hand, which is to do with the triple cross, which is a religious symbol, a symbol of faithfulness and blessing and love. And he's giving, of course, the universal blessing here with his fingers. This symbol, however, is quite different. And this symbol represents the opposite of a blessing. Here he's got his hand open and he shows everything. It's about leaving our spirit open to find out what's good and what's bad. He's not giving you a protective blessing. He's saying, step into the fire and find out what it really is. The torch represents bringing light into darkness or understanding the positive and the negatives of life. And again, the two figures parallel with the Lovers card, which I talked about. Getting caught up in relationships, getting caught up in choices. And if we look, the chains, as I talked about, represent our perceptions of what we're caught up in the material world. And the tails here represent being in touch with our animal side. And if we hark back to to Capricorn, the astrological symbol, this idea of the animal side of ourselves and the spiritual or the civilized side of ourselves, and balancing the two of those. So that is the devil. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the deeper symbolism that's here in front of us in this card. The next card we are going to talk about is the Tower, which again is another card that contains a lot of black. It's a card of sudden and catastrophic change. So our understanding of the tarot is going to shift again with this card. Take care, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.